Today we talk about when you realize your dad is not the one. Sheesh, man. I'm pretty sure you remember when you realized, man, my dad is not that guy that I thought in my imagination of fantasy that he was this superhero. No, he was far from it. Mine was, I guess, obviously we all have different, for some it's a build-up of, smart, but then makes so many bad mistakes or lies, and these little white lies, and it happens over time, or never shows up, whatever it is, whatever your case is, right? We see the human side of this so-called godly figure when we're child. This is like our idol, right? This is the person, at least for most, I could say, right, that we think, oh my goodness, this is my guy, right? And it's in that moment, or when we grow up towards a certain point, we reach a point where we realize, man, my dad is not the one. I gotta, either pick up the slack, or for some, I'm sure, I've heard, I've seen, right, I've witnessed, they go to other dads, but the main thing is, how do you solve this issue when you realize my dad is like not the best dad, right? Or he's imperfect, just like me, right? So I just look back. I realize it's not so much an issue, it's just a realization, a new realization, because they were always the same person. We just came to a realization and a definitive conclusion in our mind that, okay, this person is not who I thought they initially were. And from that point on, we realize, okay, I need to pick up the slack a little more, try a little harder, because again, they're imperfect, and many sides too. Our dad, or they're like our savior, so on the other side of the spectrum, they're like our safety net, right? Always covering everything, which is probably the reason, I would say 80% of the reason why you probably don't have the hunger, the drive, the initiative to take initiative, right, for the things you want and really pursue things, right? It's a different type of person you have a different type of individual, right, when they don't have a dad. For example, Tank. I think of Tank instantly, right? He didn't have a choice. He had to fight, right? And look at where he's at now. On the other side of his spectrum, right, he's going through little scuffs, right, that he needs to polish up. And obviously, with the guardianship of a father, that probably would have solved that issue, right? Now that's an issue. But the main thing is, you're gonna see polarities in all aspects, right? It's understanding your puzzle, understanding where I am in my situation and my relationships, and what is at my hands reach, right? That I can improve on and remove, right? All the unnecessary bad habits, these bad characteristics, work on them, right? But yeah, stop treating your dad like he's everything. Don't rely everything on him. You take initiative of your own life, but yeah, don't expect everybody to be like perfect. There's a quote, I'm trying to think, is it Robert Greene? I think it's Robert Greene or Jordan Peterson. When it comes to like our parents, we first idolize, right? Then we demonize, right? This is our teenage stage, right? So in our infant stage to our high school, right, we're idolizing our parents, or maybe even earlier, but you get the gist. Then it comes the demonizing, right? That's when we want to rebel. We demonize our parents, right? We want to rebel everything that they say. We want to go talk to that girl, that boy, we want to sneak out, right? We want to do things that goes against what our parents say, right? That's when we demonize them, because of the realizations that they aren't who we thought that they ultimately were. So this is where that friction comes into play, right? Then lastly, we humanize them, right? This is when we realize, okay, man, I was immature. He's also a human being. He's going to be immature, and he's going to be much less evolve because he's not even looking into questions like these. He's just living his life, right? We have all this information, all these gifted people in front of us speaking, and they never had this, right? So we have to realize our gifts, our benefits, right, that we have in life, and we need to hit the follow button, like it, and maybe comment. All right, thank you.